How's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out the video. Now, this video is going to be talking about Showtime Shawn Porter versus Adrien the Problem Broner, the Battle of Ohio. Now, the first thing I did when I heard this fight was announced, I started going, "Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ!" Just like that. And I also thought to myself that this is a 50-50 fight. Now, a huge storyline going into this fight is going to be the catch weight that Shawn Porter agreed to for this matchup. Now, Adrien Broner's team did an excellent job of only allowing Shawn Porter to be able to rehydrate up to 155 pounds. We're going to talk about that later in the video, but very important storyline for this fight. Now, let's talk about Adrien the Problem Broner and he brings into this matchup. Adrien Broner outside the ring, extremely loud. He's got a very interesting personality. A lot of people dislike Adrien Broner due to his outside of the boxing adventures. Let's just call them that. And when I look at Adrien Broner, though, inside the ring, I see actually a guy who has quite a bit of talent. When I look at Adrien Broner as a fighter, I see a guy who has fast hands. I see a guy who can use his jab effectively. And in the John Molina fight, he really showed that he can pick his spots very well when he wants to. Also, you've seen in some of his other fights, he works the body very well at times. And he does have some explosive ability inside of him. Every now and again, you'll see him fight and he'll just unleash this crazy combo out of nowhere. And you're thinking, like, where is this throughout the whole fight? But Broner's the type of guy, he does have some natural talent. Now, another thing that Adrien Broner possesses is Broner is a guy who's showing a lot of heart, especially in the Marcos Maidana fight. I gained a lot of respect for him after that matchup. In that fight, nothing went Broner's way. Marcos Maidana just had an excellent performance. But Adrien Broner never quit in that fight and continued fighting and had some success towards the end of the fight. Now, let's talk about Showtime Shawn Porter and he brings to the table. Shawn Porter is a guy who is an athletic fighter. He's a guy physically very strong. And when you look at some of the other things that Porter brings to the table, he really likes to bully his opponents. And that can mentally break a fighter when you constantly have this guy who has a very active style and he's pushing you on the ropes and he's fighting on the inside and he's overpowering you. That's what Shawn Porter likes to do. Back down his opponents and break them. And Porter's a guy who loves to throw left and right hooks. He does have a bit of a wild style, and he's definitely hittable because he's standing right in front of his opponent. He likes to get on the inside and smother his opponents. But when he lands those haymakers, he does have power. And he's a guy, like I said, very big for the weight class. He's campaigned at higher weights in the past. So this is a guy definitely has physically some tools that are available for him. And outside of the ring, unlike Adrien Broner, who balloons in between fights, Shawn Porter takes the sport very seriously and is always constantly in shape. So, advantages for this fight, guys. I believe Adrien Broner has the advantage of being the better technical boxer of the two and uses more versatility in his game. He uses more different, basically just brings more to the fight in terms of boxing skill and overall ability. I think he can counter better than Shawn Porter. He's a little more patient than Porter. Those are just some avenues that I think Adrien Broner holds advantages in this matchup. Also, Adrien Broner, I believe, has a faster hand speed of the two. Moving on to the advantages that Shawn Porter now has in this fight. Shawn Porter is a natural welterweight. He's a very big guy. So this is the right weight class for him. Where you've seen Adrien Broner in the past, he's had power at lower weight classes, but it hasn't really translated since he moved up. Also, Shawn Porter is a lot more active than Adrien Broner is. And I believe that Porter has the advantage as being a bigger puncher of the two in this fight. And also, I believe that Porter may be able to keep up the pace a little bit better than Broner does because either it's just Broner's style where he doesn't like to be that active, or maybe it's a conditioning underlying aspect of Adrien Broner's game that he feels he can't push and be active too much throughout the fight or else he's going to gas out, something like that. I'm not saying he does. Maybe that's just a reason, or it's just probably Broner's style, to be honest. But anyways, I really didn't know who I was going to pick into this fight. I was actually thinking the whole day of going with Adrien the Problem Broner due to this weight issue because I definitely think this is going to be huge for the fight. But what I did was I reached out to Kenny Porter. I sent him a text, and he had told me that Shawn Porter is actually weighing 152 pounds right now. So I believe Porter won't have too much trouble making the weight if he's already 152 pounds. The only issue is that Porter overtrained to get down to the weight, and we're gonna have to wait and see come fight night. A very intriguing fight because um, Broner definitely has some skills that are gonna give Porter problems. I believe Broner is patient enough that he can catch Porter coming in recklessly and land some shots that way. And also, he can work off his jab, could give Porter some problems and use that hand speed. Now, my reason for picking Shawn Porter, though, in this fight, like I said, he's already down to 152 pounds. I believe that Porter's ability to be active and also follow a similar game plan that Marcos Maidana did against Adrien Broner is going to be huge in this fight. I believe that while Maidana had more power and a little more of an awkward style than Porter, I believe that Porter definitely can use some of those aspects. He's a big guy like Marcos Maidana, and he can definitely work on the inside and smother Adrien Broner. And Broner's also a big issue why I'm picking Porter in this fight is with a guy like Porter, I believe a key to beating him is you have to use some of your footwork. And Adrien Broner is very flat-footed, so that's going to be a big issue for him against Shawn Porter, guys constantly coming at him. Um, and while Broner doesn't have a terrible defense, it's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. And some people will say, well, Adrien Broner can follow Kell Brook's blueprint on beating Shawn Porter. But the thing is, Kell Brook is a natural welterweight, and Kell Brook, in my opinion, possesses more power and is a better boxer than Adrien Broner, in my opinion. Um, so let me know what you guys think on this fight. I think the big keys for Porter is his size advantage. I think his activity level and smothering Adrien Broner, keeping that Broner on the ropes and being very active is going to be a huge thing to look for in this fight against Broner. Now, Broner, another key aspect of the fight, if he's active and is throwing a lot of punches using his jab, and especially using his legs and moving around the ring, then it's going to be a very hard to fight for Shawn Porter. So that's why it's so interesting to tell. We really don't know, guys, until we see this fight and see who implements their game plan the best. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning to the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me your thoughts on the fight, who you guys got winning. Thank you very much, guys. Once again, appreciate it. Thank you.